Spirituality is not always fun, and a lot of times that creates a big reaction in people. Did you think spirituality was supposed to be a beautiful process of glorious awakening and feeling good forever? Unfortunately, it's not that way, and it's a bummer. And I wish it were that way. I wish spirituality, real spiritual growth, was more fun than it is. And don't get me wrong, oftentimes it is beyond fun. It is the most exhilarating thing you could ever imagine. But the thing that most people don't take into account when they embark on their quest for spiritual enlightenment or whatever you want to call it, they don't take into account everything that's going to get stirred up and how much work it is and how much processing it is. A lot of the canned spirituality available out there in the world is promising you that you're going to feel better, that you are going to achieve a kind of state of ecstasy. Do you know that spiritual enlightenment is not guaranteed to be ecstatic in any way? That it is not even about that? Well, see, most people think enlightenment is kind of like permanent happiness, but it's not. So let's talk about what spirituality is about in my book, the way I look at it, as somebody who's been doing spiritual healing and consulting and teaching for 25 years. Number one, spirituality is about an identity shift. It's about changing from the identity of you as an ego in this body, in this lifetime, into changing to you as a spirit who is temporarily inhabiting this body in this lifetime and all of the things that you have to deal with in this body in this lifetime, but dealing with these things from a higher level, the level of your true self. But the thing is, as you start rising to that level, you start noticing that there are things that either keep you from rising to that level or give you the yo yo sensation of going to that level and then falling back down. That's normal. That's going to happen. That's always going to happen. And if you keep rising to new levels, you're probably going to experience the fall. It's not just going to be one beautiful ascension and you're done. Okay, one beautiful ascension and you're done is called leaving your body permanently, otherwise known as death. Okay, that is your real ascension, and that's guaranteed for everybody. So, therefore, you don't have to seek spirituality in this lifetime because you'll get it in the end no matter what, because you are a spirit. So, it's easy. So, another aspect besides the fact that it's hard is realizing it's optional. You don't have to do it. A lot of times, what happens is people like me who get interested in spirituality kind of think this is a higher calling. This is what everybody should be into. No, actually not. We didn't necessarily incarnate into these bodies, into these lifetimes, and into this separation from spirit. We didn't necessarily do that only to find spirit in the body. That is a worthy endeavor. It is what is happening on earth at the moment. But not everybody has to do it. Remember, everybody's a spirit anyway. Whether you are an atheist your whole life and you don't believe and you're a total materialist, doesn't matter. Because when you die, you're going to be spirit and you're not going to be embarrassed that you got it wrong. You're going to realize that was the point of that life or one of the points. So, not only is it really hard, but you don't have to do it. Okay. Number three, there's not necessarily a big payoff. You can still get a disease and die. I mean, you're going to die of something in the end. My spiritual teacher, who I have never met anybody of a higher vibration than her, she died of cancer. Does that mean she failed? Does that mean she was a fake? No. It just means that the physical body is going to die at some point and the spirit will leave it, and that it could die by many different ways. It doesn't really matter that much. Think of it this way. This is an example that I give to clients to put things in perspective. Imagine you could go to bed tonight, and before you go to bed, some angel or whatever comes to you and says, if you're willing to have a really bad nightmare tonight, you're going to get $1 million tomorrow. Okay? You have to agree to the nightmare. It's going to be very realistic while it's happening. While the nightmare's happening, you are going to believe the nightmare. You're going to think it's true. And it's going to be horrible. And when you wake up in the morning, you're going to be like, oh my God, that was really intense. And then 5 minutes later, you're going to forget the whole thing. Would you take that deal for $1 million? I would. Um, and knowing that that nightmare character, that dream character that you are, would be having a really bad time and think it's real during the nightmare, I would still do it. And many of you would too. And the thing is, you get $1 million tomorrow and you forgot the nightmare. Well, that's kind of what happens when you die. You get all the lessons, you process all the lessons, and you've learned things, and you've cleared up some karma, you do your life review, whatever, and then you're at a higher level. I mean, there's no $1 million up there in spirit land, but there's way better stuff than that. Like, how about instantly manifesting whatever you want? That would actually be better than $1 million, right? So spirituality is something you can choose or not. It doesn't really matter because you are a spirit. And it's hard. It's very hard because waking up, I like to say, it's like if your foot goes to sleep and you let it wake up, you let the blood go back into your foot. First thing you're going to feel is pain, sensitivity, pins and needles. When it hits the floor, it's going to hurt, right? But would it be better to not go through that awakening of your foot? No, then you'd probably have to get your foot amputated at some point because you would have cut off all the circulation and nerves and whatever, and you don't have a foot anymore. And it's hard to walk with only one foot. And it's also hard to walk with a totally numb foot. So the thing is, awakening Most of awakening is that process of the pins and needles. It's the realizing how dumb we've been. It's realizing the mistakes we've been, going through the shame of uncovering our inauthenticity and the crappy things that we've done to other people, the ways that we've hurt ourselves, all of that. Spirituality isn't fun, but for some of us, it's not optional. We have to do it. And for those people, I'm one of you, and I have a lot of empathy. It's hard. And my joy in life is guiding people through it, using all my analogies and supposed wisdom or knowledge to help people see it in a way that makes sense and that brings a little comfort, and also to start applying the lessons to a new way of living life, a new way of orienting ourselves to other people, our families, workplace, social circles, whatever. Because all of these things get disrupted for most people when they are on the spiritual path. So, anyway, just some thoughts about spirituality for today. So, have a great day and talk to you again real soon. Thank you very much. Bye bye.